Primeval Titan was banned for a reason. I'm gonna show you why. What's up, Nomies and Nomettes? Today, we're gonna be playing Primeval Titan as our commander. Wait, that's impossible.
Nothing is impossible!
Here we go, we're up against Watcher in the water, against our friend Zero Kamui, and this hand would be really great, but we don't have a green source, so I'm gonna end up mulliganing this.
I'm taking a mulligan.
And we're going to keep this hand. This hand's great.
Great.
Our opponent plays Rivendell as their first land. We're gonna play Mana Confluence. They play an island, then they're gonna play Ominous Seas. And it goes to us, we're gonna play our forest, then we're gonna play Tangled Florahedron, which is a really nice ramp spell to set us up for the future. They're going to play Merit Lodge's Slumber, and then they're going to scry, putting one on top. Then they're going to play an island to get that trigger off the Slumber, scrying one to the top. We're going to play Omnath, just to kind of throw it out there and get the process started. Opponent probably thinks we're playing Elemental Tribal, but
Not this time.
we do 2 to the face, goes to them. Merit Lodge's Slumber triggers. They scry one to the top from their island entering, and they're going to play Oracle of the Alpha. Very powerful card. Goes to us, we're going to play Yavimaya Coast, getting that landfall trigger off of the Omnath, and we're going to play Intis Restoration, which is a really great card for this deck, because Omnath essentially comes in as a 4-power creature. We get to choose 3 basic lands to put onto our battlefield, thanks to us having a creature with power 4 or greater. So we're going to get our colors, we're going to get 3 landfall triggers, putting 1 on the Tangled Florahedron and 2 on the Omnath, and then we're going to play Prosperous Innkeeper to kind of help us ramp even further and get us a protection spell in the waiting. Goes to our opponent, they get an island, Merit Lodge's Slumber triggers, and they're going to put 1 on the bottom. Then they're going to bounce our Omnath, and I'm going to let this happen because we have more than enough mana to replay it next turn, and we really need to save our Snakeskin Bell for our Primeval Titan. So we take 2, and it goes to us. We're going to play this forest, then we're going to play Omnath, which I probably should have did that in reverse order.
Strike that. Reverse it.
It's too late!
And we're going to get the landfall trigger from Omnath. We're going to deal 2 damage to face again. We gain a life from the Prosperous Innkeeper. Then we're going to play Llanowar Loam Speaker. And I didn't end up swinging here, so for now, we're going to just hold everything back. Goes to our opponent. They play an island, Merit Lodge's Slumber triggers again. And then they're going to play Thassa, which is very scary with an Oracle of the Alpha. If you guys haven't seen my Oracle of the Alpha video, I'll put it right up top here. It's a very scary card. Very scary combo. Putting another set of Power 9 in their deck. Goes to us, we'll play this mountain, getting a landfall trigger off the Omnath. And then we're going to play Mind Stone. Try and help us ramp up a little bit more. We're going to swing with the Omnath, and they're not going to take any blocks, obviously. And then to try and get some more card advantage, we're going to sacrifice the Mind Stone, since we really don't need it. And we draw a land, which is a shame. Goes to our opponent, Ominous Seas triggers, and then they are going to play Tireless Anger. And Thassa becomes a creature, thanks to their devotion. They swing with the Oracle of the Alpha, scrying 1 to the bottom, and we're going to take 2 in the air here. We do have to be a little cautious about our life total. Thassa triggers, but they're not going to flicker anything, which is probably the smart play.
My boy's wicked smart.
Goes to us, we'll get a landfall trigger off the Omnath, and we draw a card now, because we have 8 or more lands. So we're just going to pass the turn. They're going to scry 2 to the top off the Rivendell. Ominous Seas triggers when they draw a card. And they're going to play an island, Merit Lodge's Slumber triggers. Scrying 1 to the top. And they get a card from the English Spellbook,
Wingardium Leviosa.
which is probably this Rune Crab that's being played here. That's just my best guess. They're going to swing with 2 in the air. And they're going to scry 1. You would think this is a scry deck.
Well, think again!
It's not. We're going to take 2, and Thassa is going to trigger, and they're not going to flicker anything, which is, again, the smart move. We're going to channel the Boseiju, destroying the Merit Lodge's Slumber because we don't want that to turn into a 2020. And Rune Crab will trigger, making us mill 3 cards, and they get a card from the English Spellbook. And we're going to try to attempt to cast this Court of Calling, which I've been holding back all game because of counter spells, and this is really the only way that we have to go get our Primeval Titan. But unfortunately, it does get countered. So we have to find another way to go get our Primeval Titan. Omnath will trigger off the land we just played, and we're going to put a counter on him. Then we're going to play Harrow, which we're going to sack this force, and we're going to go get 2 basic lands. We get 2 more landfall triggers off the Omnath, making us draw 2 cards. So hopefully we draw into our Primeval Titan here.
Here's open.
Cold Steel Heart and Botanical Sanctum. Not going to do it. Let's play Vizier of Many Faces, copying their Thassa, and then we're going to play Cold Steel Heart on green. And the reason I copied their Thassa was so that we can start flickering the Prosperous Innkeeper to kind of get that treasure every turn. We can also use the Thassa to tap down their creatures as well, which is really good. So we flicker the Innkeeper at the end step and we make this treasure, and it goes to our opponent. They get the Ominous Steeds trigger, and then they're going to play Fleet Swallower, which is really bad for us because that could potentially mill our Primeval Titan. And we really got to hope that this Ruin Crab doesn't mill our Primeval Titan as well.
Please, please, please.
Because I don't think we have any way to go get it back from the graveyard. They dropped a card from the spellbook. We're going to tap down their Thassa just so they don't swing and do more damage than we need to. They're going to swing with the Oracle of the Alpha, scry 1 to the top, and we're going to take 2. Then they're going to flicker the Angler, which doesn't matter, has no effect. Then it goes to us. We're going to play the Botanical Sanctum, put a counter on the Tangleflorahedron, then we're going to draw a card, and what do you know? We got our Primeval Titan. So we're going to play Primeval Titan.
I knew that was coming.
It enters a battlefield. We search our library for 2 lands. The lands that we usually want to go get are Nykthos and Thespian Sage. I said that wrong. Don't come at me in the comments. We get 2 landfall triggers off the Omnath, and this is why Omnath is the commander for our Primeval Titan jank build here. Because every time a land enters, we draw a card once we have 8 or more. Then we're going to end up playing this Panharmonicon, so we get double triggers off the Primeval Titan entering the battlefield. So we play this Glasspool Mimic, and then we're going to copy the Primeval Titan again.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
We get 2 Primeval Titan triggers, and this is just going to be insane.
Yippee! 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 Yippee!
At this point, you can go get any land you want once we have the Nykthos and Thespian stage onto the battlefield. And we get 2 landfall triggers off the Omnath, drawing us 2 cards, putting 2 counters on Omnath himself. At this point, we get 2 Omnath triggers. So we'll put a counter on Omnath, put a counter on the Tangleflorahedron. Then we'll end up drawing 2 cards, gaining 2 life thanks to the Innkeeper. Play Phyrexian Metamorph. And what do you know, we're going to copy Primeval Titan, getting 2 more lands on the battlefield, putting 2 more counters onto Omnath. We're going to draw 2 more cards, getting 2 more lands off the Primeval Titan trigger. We're going to put 2 more counters onto the Tangleflorahedron, drawing 2 more cards, and swing with 12-12. They block with the Ruin Crab, goes to our end step. We're going to flicker Primeval Titan once again, just getting an insane amount of card advantage. Putting 1 counter on the Omnath, 1 counter on Tangleflorahedron. Get 2 more landfall triggers off the other Primeval Titan trigger. Then it goes to our discard step. We're just going to discard all this stuff that doesn't matter to us right now. And it goes to our opponent. They're going to play Watcher in the Water. Then play Mishra's Bauble, looking at the top card of our library. They're going to swing with the Fleet Swallower, milling what we have left in the deck. We're going to block with one of our Primeval Titans, and then they're going to flash in the Pouncing Shore Shark, mutating onto the Fleet Swallower, bouncing Omnath back to our hand. One of our Primeval Titan dies. Goes to us. They're going to draw a card. Then they're going to make a Tentacle. We play a land. Play Omnath. I probably should have did that in reverse order.
Strike that. Reverse it.
Too late.
Then we're going to do 2 damage to face and do another 2 damage to face, thanks to Panharmonicon. Play Cackling Counterpart onto another Primeval Titan. Getting 2 more Primeval Titan triggers. Getting the last 2 lands out of our deck.
That's all, folks.
Put a counter on Tangleflorahedron, a counter on Omnath, and I'm not going to go search for a land because that's all the lands we have, unfortunately.
Sound like one of them good problems.
Our opponent decides to make a Kraken. We're going to play Kennen, getting 2 life off the Innkeeper. We're going to activate Kennen's ability with all this mana from the Nykthos. Going to go get Mirehall Mimic, copying the Omnath, putting the Mirehall Mimic in the graveyard. dealing 4 damage to face, getting 2 life off the Innkeeper. We're going to copy Omnath once again, this time dealing 6 damage to face. And we can do it one more time thanks to Cackling Counterpart, dealing the last 3 damage to face. Thank you for sticking with that, opponent. We move on to game 2, and we're going to fast forward till we get to the really juicy part. The main thing that you have to keep in mind here is that we have a Mirror March on the battlefield, but our opponent also has Jin-Gitaxi's Progress Tyrant, which essentially shuts down our instant sorceries and artifact spells. Since the only way we can reliably fetch our Primeval Titan out the deck, we have to find a way to have one spell get countered before we cast Tooth and Nail. So I end up trying to get as much mana as possible from the Goldspan Dragons so we can reliably cast Cackling Counterpart and try to cast Tooth and Nail for its Entwine cost. So we cast the Cackling Counterpart, copying the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. Jin-Gitaxi's is going to counter it, and that's exactly what we want to do. Then we're going to play Tooth and Nail for its Entwine cost, using all that treasure that we just spent making, and they're going to play Blue Sun Zenith for 8 mana, copying it, essentially drawing 16 cards. And they're going to make a ton of tentacles from the Watcher in the water.
Well, that sucks.
Drawing a ton of cards. And as you guys know, with Mono Blue, it's usually over at this point when they have that many cards, but we're going to try anyway.
Never give up. Never surrender.
We're going to go get Primeval Titan and Mirror Hall Mimic, but we're going to have the Mirror Hall Mimic come in as a copy of the Jin-Gitaxi's on their side. And then we get 2 lands off the Primeval Titan. Going to get Nykthos and Thespian Stage. We get 2 landfall triggers off the Omnath, drawing us 2 cards. Mirror March will trigger, one for the Jin-Gitaxi's and the other one for the Primeval Titan. And look at that. 5 Primeval Titans come onto the battlefield.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely insane. And at this point, you can just really go get any lands out of the deck. So we're going to speed this up and we're going to draw a ton of cards off of the Omnath ability.
A few moments later.
Then after we draw all those cards, we're going to end up playing Llanowar Elves for 1 mana. Hoping to get a ton of them off the Mirror March for no particular reason, just for jank reasons. We're going to discard 4 cards here. And at this point, they pretty much have it, the game.
Never give up, never surrender.
They're going to Teferi's Time Twist. And then we're going to get Cyclonic Rift. And that is going to be GG's for us. Good game, opponent. Good game. Like and subscribe for more jank in the future.